Protests continue outside the Rowan County Courthouse because of the clerk's decision to not issue any marriage licenses.
Ready to put the wraps on the month of August and saying hello to a steamy first week of September just ahead.
A Lexington woman was grazed by a stray bullet while in her home this afternoon, where police say it came from just ahead.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. We are getting ready to put the finishing touches on the month of August. This is a live picture now of downtown Lexington from one of our sky cams, and we haven't seen the last days of summer just yet as we get ready to really warm it up for the start of September. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. And Chris, we're getting ready to really turn it up, right?
You know what? We were kind of kidding on and off for most of August and what was a cooler than normal month. And when you know it, we get to September, watch and see how things turn steamy, and that's going to be the case over the next several days. Good looking sky out there, though, not only on our sky cam into downtown Lexington. Look at the view over top of Hamburg Pavilion. It looks the part of summer with temperatures right now low and mid 80s across most of central and eastern Kentucky, where we have a little bit of cloud cover trying to billow up, even a scattered shower thunderstorm into parts of northeastern sections of the region. What Defender is tracking as of now is not a whole lot. You do have some spotty thunderstorms into the northeastern corner of the state. We've got a few around Pikeville as well. But overall, the view across the entire region featuring that typical summertime look, a late summer pattern that is blossoming now across the entire region. If you're out and about this evening, an isolated shower or thunderstorm a possibility as temperatures continue to drop into the 70s after the sunset. So instead of that cool, refreshing fall fling that we had last week, yeah, that's gone. We look ahead, focus of the forecast. September starts with a taste of summer. Say that one 3 times, Amber. We'll come back with the hour-by-hour forecast, show you how warm things get in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, we will see you then. Thank you. It has been another day of protests and rallies in Rowan County as the same-sex marriage debate rages on. Clerk Kim Davis was at work today, but she still did not issue marriage licenses. A federal judge issued a temporary stay in the case, but that expires today. WKYT's Sam Smith is in Moorhead with reaction from both sides. It's our top story at 4.
Those in support and against Kim Davis's decision to not issue any marriage licenses following the Supreme Court's ruling on same-sex marriage have been out here every day. Davis has refused because of her religious beliefs. Her office is involved in a federal lawsuit filed by 2 same-sex and 2 opposite-sex couples that have been denied here. A federal judge told Davis a stay on his injunction expires tonight on August 31st. So with the deadline expiring tonight, the question is, what happens tomorrow? I asked the clerks in the office. They said everything is still the same. Davis is represented by the Liberty Counsel. They've advised her of what could happen if she's in violation of the judge's order tomorrow, and that if she's in violation of a judge's order, then she could be called back into court. They say it's her decision to make. I'm told same-sex couples will be here tomorrow morning to see if they can get a marriage license. Protesters and those in support of Kim Davis will be here too. In Rowan County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
A couple that was turned away had filed a civil lawsuit against Davis. That case is being reviewed by the Attorney General's office. A woman says she was sitting on her couch when a stray bullet grazed the side of her head. Lexington police say it happened this afternoon on Bold Bitter Drive. They say the bullet that hit the woman appears to be just an accidental discharge from her neighbor's house. The neighbor who fired the shot took off from the scene after it happened. The woman hit by the bullet was taken to the hospital but has non-life-threatening injuries. We'll have a report from the scene on WKYT News at 5. A man charged in a deadly crash was in court this afternoon. Lexington police say Jess Greathouse hit Martiano Pozos with his pickup as Pozos rode his bike down Newtown Pike yesterday. Greathouse is charged with manslaughter, leaving the scene of an accident, and driving under the influence. We'll have more on what happened in court on WKYT News at 5. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A Lexington drugstore that was hit by a car overnight is now back open for business. Police say a woman's vehicle hit a light pole and then someone walking before crashing into the Rite Aid on West Loudon about 3 o'clock this morning. The man who was hit was not seriously injured. Police say the driver left the scene. Her passenger told police the car belongs to him. He also told police he didn't know the woman who was driving because he said they had just met at a party. Nearby business owners say the area is well known for reckless driving.
And there's been numerous wrecks, of course, down here at Loudon and Broadway. It's kind of renowned for the wrecks, and actually a lot of pedestrians get hit down there too.
Police say they're still looking for the female driver. You'll hear from the business owner coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. The University of Kentucky wants to know if students feel safe on campus. The first part of their study finds that while most students feel safe, they are concerned about sexual violence. More than 4% of students have been victims of sexual assault, and most of the attackers are fellow students. According to the study author, the problem goes underreported because most victims want to forget it happened.
It becomes something of a, I said, you said kind of situation where alcohol and drugs are involved. Things feel very murky to people as to what happened. People are ashamed. People fear retaliation.
More than 24,000 students participate in this survey, and for those concerned with privacy, they were given the option of opting out of individual questions. We'll have more on the study on WKYT News at 5:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Today, people in Virginia began saying their final farewells to 2 young journalists murdered on live television last week. A high school in Roanoke opened its doors to the community to celebrate the life of 27-year-old cameraman Adam Ward. His funeral will be held tomorrow morning. Ward and television reporter Allison Parker were gunned down by former co-worker Vester Flanagan last Wednesday. A Texas sheriff calls the killing of one of his deputies a cold-blooded execution as the man charged with capital murder makes his first appearance in court. Emily Schmidt has more on how prosecutors say they've tied the crime to the suspect and the questions that still remain.
A line of law enforcers watched chained suspect Shannon Miles enter a Houston courtroom to face a charge of killing their colleague, Deputy Darren Goforth, as he filled up his patrol car Friday night. Miles said little in court as a prosecutor outlined what gas station surveillance video allegedly shows.
He runs up behind Deputy Goforth and puts a gun to the back of his head and shoots. Deputy Goforth hits the ground and then he continues to unload his gun.
An eyewitness who pulled up to the station and heard the gunshots provided a description of the suspect and the getaway car. When authorities tracked the car to Shannon Miles, they say they found a .40 caliber pistol at his home that could fire 15 shell casings, the same number of casings found at the crime scene.
15 shell casings, you can do the math. He unloaded the entire pistol into Deputy Goforth.
No one has outlined a clear motive yet. The Harris County Sheriff says he believes Deputy Goforth was targeted only because he wore a uniform.
We've heard Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Well, cops' lives matter too. So why don't we just drop the qualifier and just say lives matter?
The community where Deputy Goforth served honored him over the weekend.
They're here to help, and we need to show them more appreciation.
Goforth was the father of 2 children, and according to the Officer Down Memorial page, the 23rd law enforcer fatally shot this year in the U.S. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
It was a down day across the board on Wall Street with the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 down about a fraction of a percent today. Last week, you may remember the Dow tumbled 1,000 points shortly after it opened Monday as global markets nosedived. The drop was the result of fears about the scale of China's economic slowdown that rippled across the world. The Dow also had its best 2-day rally in its history then on Thursday after finding out that the U.S. economy is doing pretty good. Well, in its battle to be better than Netflix, Hulu may have won this latest round. As Netflix let its distribution deal with Epix expire, Hulu inked a contract with the company. That means the studio's movie catalog will be moving from one streaming site to another. That means at the end of next month, month. Just a few of the popular movies that Hulu will be acquiring includes The Hunger Games and Transformers. The company behind embattled cheating website Ashley Madison says everything is fine despite a massive hack that revealed the identities of some of its users. Avid Life Media claims hundreds of thousands of people signed up for Ashley Madison in the past week. That includes nearly 90,000 women. Hackers posted the names, credit card numbers, email information, and physical addresses of 32 million Ashley Madison users earlier this month. The hackers also alleged that 90 to 95% of Ashley Madison customers were men. Avid Life Media's CEO stepped down last week. Good news for in-flight passengers using Wi-Fi. The FAA has given GoGo the approval for technology that will increase current Wi-Fi speeds on flights by more than 20 times. That is better than most consumer broadband speeds now on the ground. The faster service could launch as early as this year. And Arby's has become the latest franchise to jump on the snack bandwagon. The chain just launched a lineup of sliders, mini versions of its regular sandwiches for less than $2 a piece. Other fast food chains are also catering to people looking for mini treats or who are counting their calories. Taco Bell is promoting its Daredevil loaded grillers, mini burritos, and Sonic is also about to bring back its mini menu offerings.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. From outside the all-new Commonwealth Stadium, you can imagine this place is going to be packed this weekend in celebration of that new stadium and all the renovations, things they've done there. And before that, though, I mean, I'm sure people are going to be camped out right here in this area, right outside BCTC, because they're going to see this guy in concert. Coach Matthew Mitchell is with it. Camped out? I mean, I'm surprised they're not here already, Coach.
Well, it's a little bit early, but not too early. I would say they'll start. It's Monday afternoon. They'll start moving in here in the next couple hours, I would say.
For sure, because it's not every day that you get to see Coach Matthew Mitchell up on the stage, singing, making great music, and that's what you're doing this weekend.
Well, it's an historic day with the opening of Commonwealth Stadium, and so we have to do something historic. So listen, I don't really want to do it, you know. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse and out of my comfort zone, but just for the university. And
you're willing to sacrifice your voice and give great music on Saturday.
I'm just telling you, it makes me very uncomfortable to be doing this, but I'm going to give it a whirl anyway, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure President Capilouto and Mr. Barnhart will be very proud.
Very proud. Very proud. What you guys should know is back just a few years ago, you had like your own band.
Yeah. Coach Mitchell and the B team. At that time, we weren't varsity players. We were on the B team. But this band. No offense to the B team, which some of those members are dead at this point in time, but I mean, the Go Big Blue Band, Coach Mitchell and the Go Big Blue Band, the lead singer hasn't gotten any better over time, but I'm telling you, the Go Big Blue Band's a huge improvement.
So at least we can look forward to the band, and we'll see what the lead singer has to offer. Good news, it is a free show. Coach Mitchell and the Go Big, are they paying you?
This is free?
This is free.
Oh, it'd be worth
it's
something.
Free.
Oh,
you don't have to pay. So come on, show up 3 o'clock right outside of BCTC. You guys can come and enjoy Coach Mitchell and the Go Big Blue Band. Right after that, Sunday Best. And can you imagine the tailgating that's going to be going on Saturday?
It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be a great, great day, and the football team's going to be outstanding, and we're going to have a big victory on Saturday. So it's going to be one of the epic days in the history of Kentucky. It's going to be great.
And we're going to talk more about the all-new Commonwealth Stadium when we return at 4:50 and more on his singing ability. I'm going to ask him to sing. I'm going to be ready. Go ahead and start warming up. That's coming up at 4:50. I'm Deanne Stevens. Out.
Yeah, out and about.
Out and about with Coach Matthew Mitchell. Back to you guys.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. 4 months after a listeria outbreak halted production and led to a voluntary recall, the first Bluebell ice cream is expected back on store shelves today. The company says it will begin distributing to select markets in Alabama and Texas on a limited basis. Tests by both the state and the company found no sample products that would not meet standards. Bluebell is planning to reopen its other creameries in phases. It will announce which varieties of its products will be coming back to store shelves on Instagram. The American Academy Academy of Pediatrics is urging parents and doctors to discuss the dangers of alcohol with children before they ever take their first sip. A new report suggests up to 60% of high school students admit to binge drinking. That's 3 or more drinks in 2 hours. For girls, 4 to 5 for boys. Doctors say binge drinking increases a teenager's risk of death and serious injury from car crashes. Doctors in Canada and the Netherlands studying the science of hangovers found no amount of food or water consumed during bouts of heavy drinking can provide hangover relief. And researchers at Boston University School of Medicine say knee and hip replacements can be hard on the heart. The risk of heart attacks spiked for patients in the month following surgery. The risk of blood clots in veins and lungs stayed high for years. Some fast food restaurants could soon be required by law to make kids' meals healthier, and researchers say that's a good move. Brian Webb reports.
Many fast food restaurants already offer healthy alternatives for kids.
They're easy and he likes them, but we try and not get the French fries, get the apple slices instead.
But under the so-called Healthy Happy Meals bill in New York City, fast food restaurants would be required by law to make kids' meals healthier. The proposed bill targets meals that come with a toy and would mandate the meal be under 500 calories and include a serving of fruit, vegetables, or whole grain.
You see about a 9% reduction in calories.
Now, a new study from NYU Langone Medical Center finds the bill could have an impact.
We found that kids that were ordering a children's meal, if the provisions in this bill were met, would save about 54 calories.
Researchers looked at meals purchased at McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King and found the bill would also lead to children consuming less fat and sodium.
Researchers say until now, posting calories at fast food restaurants has not helped enough in the fight against childhood obesity.
This bill, under a few circumstances, could be an important step in the right direction.
Similar legislation on kids' meals was recently passed in California. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.